Italy and Britain.
I'm going to go to the other side of the street and try to film from there.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll feel better when it's over, though.
Yeah. I'm good at like these kind of things. It's like my emergency situation. You just have to see both in the third day.
Occupation has to go! Occupation has to go! والشهيد حبيب الله! والشهيد حبيب الله! لا إله إلا الله! لا إله إلا الله! والشهيد حبيب الله! والشهيد حبيب الله! بالروح بالدم نفديك يا أقصى! 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 بالروح بالدم نفديك يا أقصى!
The United States and that of the interest of the people. The time has come for the U.S. to take justice.
South Ferry.
Brothers and sisters, before I introduce who we have with us today, our lone homeland, over the heart of the Palestine, not Israel, but
Where?
the
No, yeah, that's cool.
who we all came from. For when we took proud, regardless of the side to side, before our revolution, one of those who have lived for years and yet to give us Lord, I must insist that we all recognize that this is not a movement for pity. This is a movement for pride. We are a people that required. This is in no way a movement for the West Bank and Gaza. This is not a movement for North Empire. This is not a movement for Lebanon. This is not a movement for Syria. All Palestine, inclusive of all people, irrespective of our place of residence, irrespective of our current place of residence, for we are destined to return. It is our honor and distinct pleasure to have with us today the Secretary of the Association of the Internally Dispossessed, Al-Muhami Wakil, who has just finished today yet another march in the heart of Palestine desert of Nasra, في ناصر يريد تحقيق روعة يكثر بحصول
بالدم نفديك يا فلسطين بالراح بالدم نفديك يا فلسطين
refugee born in Jerusalem before Israel was ever created. And Tanya is the co-chair of an serves the Outer chapter, and she is a Palestinian wonderful artist who's very supportive of us all. I feel it here. Okay,
Palestinian Revolution. The British colonialism, then U.S. imperialism, and the destructive agents of their Zionist agents set on Palestine are massacring our people, are really, we have become, the word Palestine has become tantamount to revolution for every oppressed group in the entire world. Long live our youth. Long live those boys who are throwing stones called terrorists. Long live our freedom fighters. May they continue and inspire the whole world. The world is with us. The stupid mass media is imagination. They are defending their families and their neighborhoods. They are the most heroic youth I know of. That armament on the Israeli side are cowards. Cowards serving a cowardly master, serving a most destructive, brutal master right here in the USA. I say,
Hey, come on!
we need your solidarity. Be instructed by the Palestinian Revolutionary Movement. We are small.
Yo, Rima!
Pressure against us is huge. We need your solidarity. We have received incredible solidarity from Iraq. From this Iraq. We need to respond to Iraq. We appreciate the solidarity from the Puerto Rican movement. Long live the Puerto Rican Revolution movement. From the American movement. Long live the Native American movement who know we sympathize because we have similar experiences. Long live the Black movement, the Black liberation movement. Our world of the working class and the USA and their organizations who have helped. And liberate the oppressed of the entire world.
Our next speaker is Dr. Sami Al-Aryan, professor at the University.
Died in exile. My father was born in 1925 in Java, and he is still in exile. Now we have the third and fourth generations of refugees who are refused to go back and return to their country.
ويا بلادي راجع ويا بلادي راجع تحيا الحرية تحيا الحرية باسم الحرية نضحي بالأرواح ربتنا الأرض.
Who are speaking in this half of the show, please come to the stage. All the speakers. We want to thank everybody for doing an outstanding job getting here. We're going to be starting the next portion of the rally in a few minutes, but before we begin, we want to let people know that the marshals in the green armbands are the security marshals. The marshals in the yellow bands are the medical marshals. Please get a few medical marshals up here.
Excuse me?
Puerto Rico!
Please come to the stage for your immediate comment.
Marwan, suya Marwan! Long live Marwan! Down, down, Israel!
Long live Palestine!
Down, down, Israel!
5 minutes, and then we'll be a prayer. And then we're going to start the
And as we struggle to liberate ourselves from this possession, that we recognize that this is not a struggle that we can win alone. This is not a struggle that we can win alone. This is a struggle that we have to do with other people.
Are you recording? You want to zoom out? Or it's fully zoomed out? Yeah, it's already zoomed out.
اتفضل. اتفضل.
I'm here because we in the island of Vieques, we have the same problems, the same everything that you are saying that you have. We, the civilian people, are sandwiched between two military bases, which the U.S. have in Vieques. One is the part that has the ammunition storage. The other one is the one that has the firing area. Firing area where they test all the ammunition they're going to use on their wars, all the armament, all the bombs, which contain some chemicals which are very harmful to our health, but nobody cares. The wind in our island always blows from east to west.
I don't have any voice today, but I'm so glad to see all of you here. We need to be heard from. The media in this country has eliminated us, but we're here, and wherever there are Palestinians, we fight on against incredible power that has yet been unable to defeat us and will never defeat us. This is not a battle between two states. It's a battle between an imperialist colonial occupier, a state armed to the teeth by the United States. Everybody here is contributing to the Israeli army, $5 billion a year of our tax money is financing an army which is killing, blockading, repressing civilians. 3 million Palestinians under occupation today are being blockaded and imprisoned by an army financed by the United States. It's our responsibility to make sure that that money diminishes and it gets eliminated. This is a repressive regime. This is not, to repeat, this is not a battle between states. It's a battle between a colonial army and a disarmed, unarmed, defenseless population. If you read the papers here or listen to the TV, you get the impression that it's two countries at each other, and that the Palestinians, as those moronic senators yesterday said, they were saying that Palestinian violence has to stop. It isn't Palestinian violence, it's Palestinian resistance, and it must never stop. So far, you should keep these figures in your head. So far, 440 Palestinian civilians have been killed. 14,000 Palestinians have been seriously wounded, half of them maimed for life by Israeli helicopters, by Israeli tanks and missiles, by Israeli mortars, by Israeli heavy machine guns. All of it paid for, as I said, mostly by the United States and given to the State of Israel to do this. Now, in addition, one has to remember that Sharon, the Prime Minister of Israel, who is a worse war criminal than Slobodan Milosevic, and much worse, who has the blood of thousands of Palestinians, and Lebanese. He was responsible for the death of 19,000 people during the siege of Lebanon in 1982. And directly responsible, they say indirectly. I don't know what the difference is between directly and indirectly. If you're holding a gun and you get somebody to hold it for you, you're still responsible, right? For the massacres of Sabra and Shatila, a long line of massacres going back to Libya in 1951. Sharon is responsible now for the blockade of the West Bank and Gaza by medieval siege tactics. They dig ditches around towns where 65,000 Palestinians in the area north of Ramallah cannot get to the universities and to the schools. There is now, as a Guardian, an English Guardian correspondent, who is not Palestinian, her name is Suzanne Goldenberg, said yesterday, this is an Israeli war on thought, not just on the Palestinian people, on their ability to think. They are trying to stop kids from going to school, from going to hospitals, from carrying on a normal life. All of it in the name of something called a Jewish state in which 1 million Palestinians constitute 20% of the population and have the rights of a fourth-class minority in it. So wherever they go, the Israelis are creating for themselves and for others, especially Palestinians, endless problems that will not go away by force. Now, the last point I want to make. There is an increasing number of Israeli Jews and American Jews and non-Jews who are sick to death of this posture that claims, that the Israelis claim, that they represent the Jewish people. There's a group, for example, of Israelis who are trying to stop the house demolitions that are going on even as we speak. People's houses are being bulldozed out of existence by Israelis, by Israeli soldiers. But there are Israelis joining with Palestinians in peaceful, non-violent, but massive, organized resistance, which is the only thing that's going to bring this occupation to an end. We must mobilize through organization, through policies of divestment and boycott against Israel in this country. And above all, listen, very important, you must, every one of us at this place here, must constantly remind somebody sitting next to them, somebody on the bus, somebody in school, somebody at the workplace. Ask them, where do they stand on the question of Palestine? Because everyone is involved. We, as Americans, are financing the repression of Palestinians by Israel. And unless there's more awareness, you have to push yourself onto people. Do not allow yourselves to be silenced. Do not allow yourselves to just walk away from people who seem indifferent. Push yourself onto people. Make your presence known. And in the end, we will win.
Thank you!
Let's have another fantastic applause for Professor Edward Said. Thank you.